Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
Deliver outstanding results to your clients and win their loyalty for life. I know you understand this as a coach or consultant, that the longer you keep customers with you, the cheaper your marketing becomes. And if you retain customers long, they become people that pay, stay, and refer. And those are the kind of people you want to be doing business with. So in this podcast today, we're going to be talking about customer loyalty and how it can actually help your business boom in the best of times and also help you survive in tough and challenging times. I don't know what year or what period you're listening to this, but we've just come out of a really big business threatening pandemic that was preceded with a recession, where if you didn't have a lot of loyalty with your customers, they would have gone to somebody who can do things cheaper, better, faster. And if you're a coach or consultant, you know that's something, that is something that you don't want to keep having, where you are generating all these leads, but these people are not staying because they're not loyal. So if you're a coach that's passionate about doing the work that they're meant to be living, or a consultant that needs to live a life that is inspired while you're doing that, you've come to the right place, my friend. This is the Online Prosperity Experience, and my mission is to help coaches, consultants, and small to medium businesses like yourself build a brand that they're proud of and create a lifestyle that you absolutely love. I know that you are definitely looking out to create a business that is profitable and enjoyable. And in the process, you also want to have time and freedom in the same sentence. A lot of people don't have that, or haven't even experienced that, or don't even know that it actually exists. A lot of businesses that we speak to are spraying and praying with their marketing, and they don't quite have anything to show for it, especially when they come back from a holiday. They don't even have a business to come back to because all their clients have gone. So in this podcast, we're going to be talking about customer loyalty and how especially it is important, especially when there's a market downturn or whatever pandemic, and also why customers are extremely cautious, with their budgets when the markets are not favorable, okay? And how repeat customers actually tend to spend a lot more money on your brand than new customers because they already trust your business. And in this podcast, we're also going to be, touching upon retaining customers and why it's very important because, when you retain your customers, those people that are staying with you are already fans, and they're about 5 times cheaper than actually recruiting new customers because you can sell to them products that you are experimenting on. So this podcast is for coaches and consultants who really want to increase their brand's customer loyalty, even during market downturns, even during pandemics. Your clients will be fighting for you in order to work with you so that your business is profitable and enjoyable. Humor me. As a business owner, I know you want your customers to stay with you for the long haul because you're spending so much time reaching out to them. So maybe like other coaches and consultants that we end up talking to, they're maybe sending out hundreds of, emails without even getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for reaching out, or they're cold calling potential clients and having them hang up in their face. And then maybe you do eventually convert these potential clients into paying customers. You want them to stay. You don't want to keep embarrassing yourself or being humiliated in the marketplace there when people don't quite know your services and they're hanging up in your face. So as a business owner, you know your customers are the reason you are in business. The reason, why you are actually waking up every single day is so that you can solve people's problems, and you can actually, continuously do this in a profitable manner without having to compromise on your margins. And okay, so that's why it's important for you to consider your customers in everything that you're going to be doing. Okay, so if you're going to be, generating leads, you need to understand what do you want your target market to actually ask you to do for them. Okay, so if you're going to be putting out your consulting, your training, your information, your expertise, and paid speaking gigs, you want to be putting it out to people that have a need for the service, that are willing and able to buy that service, and people that are definitely going to be loyal and realistic with their expectations of what it is that you're going to be doing them. So your customers' needs need to be at the forefront of your business, and this will only drive more sales and also build customer loyalty for the long haul. So what we're going to be talking about here is why it's very important for you to cultivate this customer loyalty and the tips for you to actually be doing this. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is I know that as an entrepreneur, marketing and, customer retention is just one single aspect of running your successful business. You grow from hiring and managing staff, balancing books, driving growth, and a whole lot more of other things that, demand your attention. And it all feels like it's a constant balancing act where you're pulled in multiple different directions all at once. And at the end of the day, I can understand as a coach or consultant, your real goal is just to help your clients. You want to spend as much time as possible, changing people's lives and solving people's problems, because all your clients are coming to you for health, for wealth, or relationships, or whatever it is that you are dealing with them. So you don't want to waste countless hours each week trying to navigate this whole world, of customer loyalty and, having to beg people to hire you every single time. And fortunately, you don't have to if you actually put the needs of your customers front and center in everything else that you're going to be doing. And I'm hoping by the end of this podcast, you will actually be one of those people that have their customers singing their praises, to their family, to their friends and colleagues at barbecues, or even to strangers on a bus. This actually makes your marketing spend go down to zero. And I can guarantee that if you actually create for and relate to the customers you're going to be demanding money off of. Okay, so why is customer loyalty important? Have you ever noticed that there's people that line up when they hear of a new product that has come up? I've seen it with sneakers. I've seen it with Apple products. I've never seen it with Samsung, though. I've seen it, I've seen people lining up, waiting for jewelry when a new designer or a new brand comes into town. Even though they know they can buy this stuff online, even though they know they can buy this stuff cheaper, better, faster somewhere else without having to waste hours in a queue. This is because these people have an inherent belief and they can stand for that product. They can stand for those sneakers, and they associate that brand and that product with who they've become. So you want to make sure that you've created that in and amongst the work that you're doing. That way, your clients can be also seen standing out, and bidding a pathway to your virtual doors or to your actual office, when needs be, okay? So if you put it all together, customer loyalty is, when a customer is likely to do repeated business with you. The first 2 months or 3 months that you're working with a customer, there's a lot of work involved. You're creating their processes. Let me just maybe look at it from, our own service provision. We're creating their landing pages. We're creating their website. We're creating their social media templates and things of that nature. We're really trying to get the flow of how they speak so that their content sings, to the tune of what they're saying. So there's a lot of work involved, a lot of resources that are needed in the first sort of months, and you're using a lot of budget. It's like a rocket when it's going out to space. The first kilometers of it's going, into orbit, it's using a lot more fuel than when it's costing through. So if you don't actually retain a client for more than 6 months, or more than maybe a year, you are actually losing money in the first 3 months that you've got that customer. So if the customer is not doing repeat business with you, all the money that you have spent, first of all, acquiring that customer and then trying to win their trust and then trying to fit your systems, processes, and tools to match what it is that they have can only be recuperated when the client stays with you for more than 3 months. And if you're not having repeat business, then all you're doing is grand opening and grand closing. You are never going to actually start having a business that's profitable and enjoyable. So loyal customers would literally fight for your own survival. We noticed this during the pandemic when a lot of people were actually buying coupons from businesses that they usually patronize, even though they're not using that business, but they just wanted to give them money so that they stay in business. Okay, so this sort of stems from customer satisfaction, and it actually outweighs availability or pricing or other factors that typically impact any buying decisions. People are more than happy to wait for a Rolls Royce even though it takes a year for it to be built, because they're loyal to the brand, they're loyal to their decision in purchasing that product. So when a customer is loyal to a product, to a service, or to a brand, they're actually willing to wait for you to restock. They're willing for you to actually get it right. And that's the reason why, loyal people are usually, first adopters. You know what I mean? Those people that are early adopters of whatever new product or service that you bring to the marketplace. And you can use them as a soundboard that you actually don't even have to pay for. They are paying you to actually grow your business and experiment on them. And they're willing to wait for you to restock. They're willing to spend a little extra money for them to have the privilege of being a loyal customer to you. Okay, so customer loyalty actually means the difference between maybe a one-time sale and a customer who comes back to you potentially for the rest of their lives. All right, so I work with immigration lawyers, and I know that if an immigration lawyer does or plays his cards well, they have a customer for life if they do the right thing. Okay, because when a migrant comes into Australia, first of all, they might be a student, and then from there they're gonna need a permanent residency visa. From there, they're gonna need to maybe extend their visa somehow, or they're gonna need to then apply for their citizenship. And when they got their citizenship, they're gonna need to bring in their family, things of that nature. They are only going to be using that one particular person who has actually created a really good customer journey for them. Okay, so if you put in the necessary work to actually build in this customer loyalty, these customers will stay. They will actually be invested in your business. And when your business is struggling, guess what? These loyal customers will actually help you stay afloat. You can actually vouch for me on this. You had customers that were checking in on you just to make sure that you were fine during the pandemic. If you didn't have that, then you need to check into your systems. You need to actually see if you're delivering outstanding results to your clients, because that's the only way you can win their loyalty. You literally don't have to be just doing enough. You need to deliver a world-class experience that will then increase, the customer value that you have, because with each purchase, they are actually voting for your survival in business. All right, this is especially important, and has been evident amongst a few businesses during the last market downturns and the global pandemics, and also the sweeping lockdowns that we came through. And I think the pandemic in and of itself, it was a test of customer loyalty, in that it forced customers to truly and honestly evaluate what service providers they actually trusted. You know what happens when you actually start working with a client, especially if you're a coach or consultant? You are sending them an invoice so that they can look after it at the end of each month. And when they are looking at the bills they need to pay, their loyalty to you has to actually defend you in their monthly bill. Okay, they need to actually defend why they need to keep you and retain you as their most trusted provider. If they cannot vouch for your existence, guess what? You're not going to be, there again next month for you to be considered as somebody who needs to be paid for, the retainer that you're asking for. So one of the key lessons that the pandemic actually taught us has been that it's like in good times when you build customer loyalty, it can actually help you grow faster and even more profitably. But in the tough and challenging times, it can actually be the difference between staying in business or going out of business. So many people are going out of business because they didn't take the time to look after their customers. And you want to do this not when times are bad. You want to do it in times when things are good and continuously deliver that world-class service so much that you ingrain yourself in, your clients' work, in your clients' everyday activities. That way, it's so difficult for them to let go of you. Okay, so customer loyalty is so important, for many reasons. And just not only that you actually get a retainer, but repeat customers actually spend a lot more than new customers, because with repeat customers, you can keep introducing new products to them. And guess what happens? They can latch onto them and actually, allow you to, really refine that product up until you get it right. Okay. So sometimes, when you're experimenting with new products and things of that nature, you might not have gotten it right. You might not have gotten the processes in order, and your customers will be much more lenient and allow you, to get it right, because they already trust the work that you're already doing with them, in other sectors or in other areas of their life. Okay, so let's say you're a health consultant, and you start introducing them to maybe some wealth principles that you are doing, that can actually open you up to yet other revenue streams, which will actually, skyrocket your profitability and ensure that your business remains 100% bulletproof. So repeat customers typically spend a lot more than new customers. This is because they already trust your business and its products or the services that you're putting out there. And existing customers tend to spend a lot more than new customers. You know why? They already have that trust factor. And in fact, the amount that they spend typically increases with the duration of doing business with you in your brand. Today, I literally was sitting with one of our long-standing accounting clients who was only just using one product with us, but we've actually upgraded them. And now they're paying 3 times more than they were paying us in the last month. So that's because they already trust our processes. They don't need to go in and learn somebody else's new tricks and tips. And we've already gotten their loyalty for life, okay? And let me tell you something. Loyal customers actually yield a higher conversion rate than people that you're going to try and convince right from the get-go. All right. Your existing customers have an average conversion rate of around 60 to 70%. You know why? You don't need to sell them on how good you're going to be or how punctual you're going to be or the quality of the services that you're putting out there. While with new customers, you've got a conversion rate of about 5% to 20%. Yet, a lot of businesses, concentrate on new customers instead of actually selling more to the people that you already have. And in other words, you actually get more value from your loyal customers visiting your site and getting to discover more of the new products that you actually have. And you can use email marketing, which is an even cheaper way. You know why? Because you don't necessarily have to be talking to them all the time. You can actually do this easily. Yeah, you can do this easily through automation. So, in essence, customer loyalty actually boosts your profits, because the more customer loyalty you have, the better your profits are going to be. Like we said, with loyal customers, they actually pay more, and they're not price hesitant. They're not going to be shopping around. You know why? Because you already have the information. And in fact, it's just maybe a 5% increase of customer retention that you could actually do, okay, which will actually, help you increase the business profits that you have. So customer retainment is actually cheaper than you going out to retain, to recruit new customers. Because while recruiting new customers is important, you need to have fresh money coming into your business all the time. But it's around 5 times more expensive than when you are actually retaining a loyal one. Remember, you have to pay for ads. You have to do all the social media marketing. You have to do podcasts and things of that nature like I'm doing right now. All of this stuff takes time, money, and effort. But if these people already know, like, and trust you, the moment you've got a new product, the moment you've got a new book, the moment you've got a new, speaking topic or things of that nature, guess what? You don't have to, reinvent the wheel with customers that already know, like, and trust you. Simply retaining loyal customers is much more cost effective as they're bringing in higher profits at a lower cost, and people that are loyal to you, they're constantly finding out what else do you have. So within your sales process, you should always be asking people, would you like fries with that? What is it, amongst the products that you have, can you upsell to the people that you are already working with? Could it be, a service on top of a product, or could it be a product on top of a service? Whatever you're doing, find out if your customers just don't want, a meal. Make it a happy meal for them. All right, because loyal customers will shop regularly. You already have their, credit card details. All you can just ask them is, hey, maybe on the next bill would have added X, Y, and Z, would have added website management, would have added social media management, would have added email marketing, and then they'll ask you how much is it? Oh, $375, $475, $575, and then they just calculate if they're going to be able to afford it, and they'll tell you, yep, let's go ahead. It's because they've already had positive experiences with your brand. And repeat customers tend to, shop much more frequently than newer customers. Newer customers are still sniffing around. They're looking for you to actually mess up. So you want to make sure that your systems, your processes, and everything else is in place for you to actually start creating remarkable experiences and world-class experiences so that these people become repeat customers. And guess what? People like us do things like this. When you do well by somebody, they're going to bring in a horde of their family, their friends, their colleagues, and they'll be so excited about what they're doing with you that they'll even talk to strangers on the bus and give them your website. So when you now have loyal customers, guess what? You now have cash flow coming into your business, and it actually helps you plan ahead. Because if you are just waiting for people to pay and not necessarily having an understanding, of when your money is going to come in, how can you plan ahead for your business? How can you actually effectively grow? Because when you have loyal customers, you can actually make better anticipatory, decisions and effectively plan your finances and marketing efforts. That's the reason why you no longer have the ebb and flow, that a lot of coaches have, just simply because they haven't got consistent income coming in. So they're not quite sure, whether to spend money either on marketing or if they are going to be able to afford, certain services later on in life. So the really big key takeaway here is customer loyalty can actually improve your sales. It can actually reduce your marketing costs compared to customer recruitment. Yes, we like the thrill of conquering. We like the thrill of closing sales, but those that we already have, let's maintain them. It's like a marriage. If you just like going on first dates and then don't maintain the relationship, nobody's going to want to stick around for that. So it can also be a buoy for your business in difficult and economic times. And guess what? We always have difficult and economic times every 3 to 7 years. So we might have a couple of years of when things are all hunky-dory and we don't even need to worry about anything else. But the dark curtain of the economy will just, make sure that it spins in a cycle again. All right? So all you got to do is make sure that you're letting your customers become loyal to you. All right. And you're choosing your customers right from the get-go. All right. And you actually are understanding the right kind of people with the right kind of pain that you can work with, and people that actually stay the longest, because people that stay will refer. And when people refer, that's now the perpetual cycle of business. Wouldn't that be nice? So if you're keen to find out how you can actually build a system around customer loyalty and actually start taking advantage, of this endless referral system that you can create for yourself, I invite you to come and have a clarity, call with me. All right. You can schedule that from our website, or look in the email that came with this podcast, or just click on one of the links that comes with the podcast so that we can actually schedule that for you. Because this is what we will do on this call. We'll work hands-on with you, all right? So we can develop a strategic plan and then deep dive and work through your ideal client clarity. Because if you're clear on who your client must be, if you're clear on who you want to work with, and if you're clear on exactly what it is that you want to be creating, guess what happens? You now have, my friend, a system that works on its own. All right, you're now attracting the right kind of client with the right kind of pain, and you're delivering a world-class service. You're not having to reinvent the wheel with every client that comes your way. And then once we have identified this ideal client, we will now set up strategic messaging so that we keep getting the same person. Okay, we want the right people, and we are going to use the same mechanism in order for us to enable ourselves to keep getting the same people that pay, stay, and refer. And then we'll look at maybe your consulting offers and your fees and pricing, because that also helps with client retention. Okay. And once those offers are there, we want to increase the amount of times you can offer something to, someone, which then increases the lifetime value of that particular client. And then we look at the fees and the pricing to make sure that it is actually profitable for you and you actually have margins that you can work with. Remember what I told you right at the start of this podcast, because if you're a passionate coach or consultant who's doing the work that you're meant to be doing, and actually living an inspired life while doing it, then this will be the right thing for you to do, okay? Because I want to help you build a brand that you're proud of, with customers that are loyal to you and you are creating for and relating to them all the time. And then once all that is in place, we will now look at your business model optimization to ensure that you are constantly attracting the right kind of clients and you can retain them, because some business models do not allow for this to happen. And then once that's in play, we now help you set up your marketing engine and lead generation system so you can constantly attract customers that stay. Now, wouldn't that be nice? So in all this process, we'll be helping you know your customers and letting them know you. Because if you want to cultivate customer loyalty, you want to get personal with your clients. You want to learn their names. You want to learn their stories, their buying habits, and things of that nature. And you can do this at scale using a CRM. You want to treat each and every one of them as a person, not just a hashtag or anybody who's just paying you money, okay? For instance, on a customer's birthday, you could actually send them a personalized birthday message, or a special deal or something that just helps them have a happier existence. And then they actually start thinking they're being heard, they're being seen, and they're being respected. Because that's what people are always looking for. People are looking to belong. People are looking for connection. People are looking for peace of mind. People are looking for status. People are looking to be valued. And if you do that, my friend, they will be loyal for life. At the end of the day, once you do that, you can maybe create a loyalty program. The more people stay with you, the cheaper it is to actually, work with you, or maybe set up a referral program. At the end of the day, you just got to play to your strength and values. What is it that you do best? What are your unique offerings? What do you value most? Because the answers to this question will then help frame your brand, which is an important part to actually attracting the right kind of people, with the right kind of pain. So for you to really connect with buyers, you need to stay true to your brand and focus on what you do best and be constant in your market, because people will always want to go to the professional or somebody who is absolutely good at what they're doing. This will definitely make your marketing cheaper. Yeah. So if you have been listening to this and you've been, part of what we've been doing, I want you to build stronger customer loyalty so that you can be delivering world-class experiences and increasing customer value, because the longer somebody stays with you, the longer they will actually be more valuable to you. Okay, and I want you to start, using personalization so you can tailor your messages to your customers and treat them as individuals. And then you can leverage the tools that are already available so you can improve this customer satisfaction further. Let me tell you something. If you deliver outstanding results to your clients, you will win their loyalty for life. Okay, so customers will literally sing their praises to their family, to friends, colleagues at barbecues, or even strangers on a bus. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with this information. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au